What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here for another month of the OCG recap. So, it was actually quite easy to find some interesting stuff to go on this week's one, or this month's one, sorry. So, yeah, all three profiles are pretty unique, like stuff you wouldn't expect to be doing well, and they were all, like, top threes at the events that they were at. So I think we had 2 first place lists and a second place list, to be exact. But, of course, the first one you see here is Blackwings. But before we do get started, as always, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. And let's get on into these deck profiles. Okay, so starting us off, we have the Blackwing list. And as always, it starts with 3 copies of Ash Blossom, but then we do get into some pretty unique Blackwing ratios. So we've got 1 copy of Ustar, 2 copies of Bora, 3 Gale, 1 Harmartin, 2 Chris, 1 Orishi, 1 Panakai? I never played this one, so I never learned to learn its name. 2 Simon and 2 Zephyros. So I thought this was strange to only play 2 Simon and the 1 Asta, because like they're your primary engine, unless the Tri-Brigades interact differently with this kind of setup. So yeah, I thought it was pretty strange. Maybe it was just like trying to cut space. Yeah, they're all searchable with Black Whirlwind anyway. Maybe just normal summoning a big one was the way they wanted to go. Then for the hand traps, we've got 2 Max C, 1 Apex Avian, then 3 copies of Fractor and 2 Naval for the Tri-Brigades. Then we've got 3 Black Whirlwind, 2 Cold Buy, 3 Tenki, 2 Droplets, a Harpy's Feather Duster, a Soul Shave Force for that Infinity play, then 2 Talents and 2 Imperm. Then for the extra, we are again pretty light on the Blackwings. We've got 1 copy of Raikiri the Rain Shower, 1 Falama Master, 1 Chaos Ruler. Didn't ever think to consider playing this in my Blackwing deck, but it does work pretty well by the looks of it. Then we've got 1 copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, another cool dark that you can make. It's another free negation, I guess. 1 Dweller, 1 Ark Rebellion, and of course later on you see the Raiders Knight to combo off with that. Then we've got the 1 Infinity and the 1 Forstrix for that kind of combo. Then we've got the Ancient Warrior's Oath, which you can make with the Tri-Brigades. Then we've got the Hulk, 1 Wastrix, and 1 Samorg. Then we've got, of course, the Fridge. I thought this was different. I must have changed its name. It's Flaget. The Fruitless Flower. It's Fruitless Flower. And then we've got Wicked Wings as well to round out the Tri-Brigades in the extra. Then the side for this one, we see 3 copies of Lancia and a Dark Samorg, which I thought was strange, but I guess it's just a Dark that you're generating in the combo. Then we've got 2 copies of Nibiru, 3 Zoo King Alpha, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Imperial Order, 2 Red Reboot, and the 1 Vanity's Emptiness. And now as I click the OCG button, you can see that all of these cards were legal. That is much better. But let's get on into the next one. Okay, so next off we've got the OCG, sorry, let's switch this again because we've got to make sure it shows those OCG ratios. But yeah, we've got OCG Code Talkers. So again, this is another one that did really well. I thought that it was odd that this is very much just a heavy control list as opposed to like an outright combo like Code normally is. So thought it was a bit of a unique one. We'd put it up on the channel, for this one. Then for this deck list, we've got 3 copies of Ash and 2 Max C. Weirdly, a lot of OCG lists were playing 3 Ash, 2 Max C. Like, do you not just play 3 Max C because you have 3 of it? I guess not, but that's the way they've been playing it. Then we see the 1 copy of Exporter. We just need this still. 3 copies of Code Generator, 1 Cyburst Gadget, 1 Dotscaper, 1 Gachari at Ignista, 3 Lady Debug, and the 3 Microcoder. So essentially just the generic combo extenders you need. I'd assume that any combination of this probably gets you to the double attacking access code, because in the extra deck they're just kind of looking to generate that twice. Wait, yeah, the update gem is in there. Okay, then for the spells, we've got the Codec, 1 Mining, another unique thing of maybe they just didn't want to go -1 all the time. Then we've got 1 Duster, 3 Desires, which again, this is a really strange list. The choice of Desires with like all of these at risk of getting banished is strange. Then we got 2 Scapegoat, 2 Compulse, 2 Crackdown, 2 Conflict, 1 D-Barrier, 1 Imperial Order, 3 Judgment, 3 Strike, and the Emptiness rounds out the main deck. Then for the extra, we've got 1 Linkaribo, 1 Lingaribo, 1 Link Spider, 1 Almirage, 2 Code Talker, 2 Transcode, 2 Access Code, 1 Code Talker Inverted, 1 Security Dragon, 1 Update Gemma, 1 Splash Mage, and one of the Decode Talker Heat Soul. So yeah, it seems as though this is just designed to generate the access code twice and have it swing for big damage, because your transcode can just reborn the update jammer on the second go round. So it seems as though that's what this is designed to do, just like control with traps and then hit with a big access code. But yeah, we'll get into the side deck for this one. We've got 2 copies of Lancia, 2 Nibiru, 2 Xseed, 2 Chalice, 3 Lightning Storm, 1 Regeki, 1 D-Barrier, and 2 Red Reboot. And finally, rounding out the trifecta of strange OCG deck profiles, we see OCG Burning Abyss. I did not realize that OCG Burning Abyss had as many cards back for this as they have. They effectively just have Tour Guide to 2, and that's it for the entire Burning Abyss archetype, and that's absurd. Like, can we please get this here so that we can play like wacky lists like this? Like, he doesn't even need 3 Rhino Warrior, because like everything's at 3. You don't need to toolbox it when statistically you'll find it. But rounding out going through the deck profile for this one, sorry, we've got 3 copies of Graph, 3 copies of Seer, then 3 Farfar and 3 Skarm, 2 Libic, 1 Alich, 1 Calcab, and 1 Babar rounds out the Burning Abyss lineup. Then we've got 2 copies of Tool Guide, 1 Fiendish Rhino Warrior, then 2 copies of Maxi, again with the 3 Ash. Another weird way of seeing this list get played is this like 2-3 ratio for some reason. Then we've got 2 copies of Cold Buy, 2 Crossout Designator, 2 Twin Twisters, I suppose because they trigger your Burning Abyss. Then we've got 1 Harpies and 1 Foolish for the spells. Then 3 copies of Dynamiscus, 1 Imperm, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, and 2 Solemn Strike round out the main deck. Then for the extra, we've got 2 copies of Dante, 1 copy of Dante Pilgrim, 1 Cherubini for those easy link plays, 2 copies of Beatrice, because it's not even at 2 there, it's at 3. Then we've got 1 Downed and the Zeus, because it is so good. Then we've got 1 Gravity Controller, 1 IP, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Triz, 1 Access Code, and 1 Avramax rounds out the extra. Then for the side, we've got 2 copies of Nibiru, 2 Lancia, 2 Prank, 1 Maxi, 1 Ghost Spell, 3 Evenly, 2 D-Barrier, and a very strange choice that I have not seen since probably like the start of 2016 in Rise to Full Height. I think I played this in like Paleozoic for after like your opponent uses the Trident Pop, and then like they're stuck having to attack, so you just like Rise to Full Height so they take like a buttload of damage, even though the Whiptail's going to get that banish off. And then we've got the 1 Imperial Order rounds out the deck for this one. I really, really want Graph and Seer back at 3 in the TCG, please. Like, I don't know if I'd trade a 3rd Tool Guide for it. I'd probably trade 1 Tool Guide for an extra Graph and extra Seer and the ability to play 3 Beatrice, because that would just be absurd. But that will wrap us up here for this month's OCG recap. If you do have any requests for stuff for us to try and chase down for next month, do comment those guys down below like always. We'll always do our best to try and find like which ones we can kind of get on here. Even though they might not be the best lists in the world, these lists were weird but somehow did very well at events, and I don't get it. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.